Hello, my precious friends. Welcome to Tuesday's lesson. Tuesday's lesson is Daniel, shut up the book. Daniel, close that book. The time is not yet. Of course, that is a direct reference to Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4. My name is Dwain Esmond, and I'm excited to be with you again in our study this quarter. We're studying about allusions and images and symbols, how to study and understand Bible prophecy. All right, Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4, the Bible says this: "But as for you, Daniel, conceal the words and seal up the book." Conceal the words, seal up the book until the end of time. Many will go back and forth, and knowledge will increase. Many will run to and fro, and knowledge will increase. Daniel, seal up the book. But then the Bible says in Revelation chapter 22 and verse 10, God tells John the Revelator, do not seal up the words of this prophecy of this book, for the time is near. In one case, God says, shut it down. In another case, he says, open it up. What is God talking about? Well, when we read that book, Daniel, and we look at chapter 12 really in its context, we look at this verse 4, God is not just saying that information will increase and technological advance will happen, therefore, this information is not for right now. God is saying much more than that, and it is true. That's one interpretation, that knowledge will increase and men will run to and fro, and people have used it to predict all the technological advances that we have today, things like ChatGPT and other things like that, AI technology, which boggles our minds. Yes, there's been an increase in information, an increase in knowledge, but maybe God was saying to Daniel, listen, there's coming a time when people will fully understand the prophecies of this book, and that time is not yet. Remember now, God is speaking to a prophet who is in captivity, and God is telling him, unfolding to him how his people will come out, and also giving him a vision of the future that will be fulfilled later. Daniel speaks in chapter 8 and verse 14 of his book of the 2300 day prophecy, to 2300 mornings and evenings. This prophecy that extends all the way until 1843, 1844, after the 1260-year period of papal supremacy. Daniel predicts that as well. The dark ages when people were being abused and misused by Catholic powers. Daniel predicts in his prophecy, in his book, that there will come a time when that power will be subjugated. 1798, that happens when General Berthier takes the Pope captive, Napoleon's general. And after that time, there became an understanding that something great was happening, that God was doing something mighty in the earth. And the unlocking of Daniel's prophecy that was shut up, chapter 12 and verse 4, the unlocking of that begins with the movement of William Miller and others that leads to the Adventist church and its understanding of our prophetic role, that God was indeed speaking of a time, projecting a time that we know to be the time when the ministration of Jesus changed in the most holy place, and then a time that begins to usher in the second coming of Jesus Christ, a called out people who are called to share that message, the three angels' messages of Revelation 14, with a world that is perishing. A message of the gospel to all the world, to come out of Babylon because it's falling and not to receive the mark of the beast. Prophetic understanding is time sensitive. God unlocks things at the appropriate time and locks other things until that time. That's our study for today. I hope you're blessed as you get into Daniel, shut up the book.